Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm JJ Flizanes, your producer and empowerment strategist. Thank you for downloading today's episode. Today's going to be a Q&A episode. It's been a while, and recently I did reach out to my Inner Circle members to ask if they had any questions, and I got back a bunch. So you guys, I will do a different Q&A in the Inner Circle to answer all of the questions that you had. But today I just want to answer a few that I recently got when I asked in the 30-day manifestation challenge. So the first one comes from Ambika Ra. Ambika says, I have a question regarding overcoming hatred towards a certain zodiac sign. I'm a Leo and have a very difficult Scorpio father, which made me hate Scorpios all my life. And whenever I would have troubles with people, I would later find out they were Scorpios. I would like to know how to overcome this. I have a Pluto in Scorpio, and my partner has a moon in Scorpio. Whenever he becomes spiky, I can't help but think it's that horrible, triggery Scorpio moon in you. She also told me that her partner is an Aries and his Aquarius is his rising. She's a Leo in moon, sun, and rising. Okay, so first, I'm not going to be able to answer this as in depth as I possibly could, either one-on-one or Ambika. And for everyone else that doesn't know this, I did a astrology course, and the astrology course was live one time. We recorded it, and now you can get it at any time. It is a do-it-yourself kind of course. There are 5 or 6, I think there's 6 videos, and there's so much information. You can buy it one time and revisit it over and over and over and over again with different people in your life. So for anyone who wants to take a deeper dive into how I use astrology in this way, you don't have to get the one-on-one sessions. You can just do it yourself, and that's at jjflizanes.com/astrology. So if you just do jjflizanes.com/astrology, it's not an expensive program. And again, it's way less than working with me one-on-one. And it'll give you so much information that, again, you can revisit it over and over again. So just wanted to make sure all of you know that when I do a course, the first time I ever do the course, it's live. And then after we do it one time, I sell it as a standalone course you can use at any time. So, because it's going to happen again soon, I just wanted to warn you, there's 2 more courses coming. And I just wanted, so if you hear those past episodes and you think, oh, I missed it, when is she going to do it again? Well, I'm not going to do it again because I've already done it. So now you can access it at any time. So again, jjflizanes.com/astrology. So first, let's look at the question, Ambika, about the fact that you have a pained relationship with your dad. And that is the first place to go. If you've been listening for a while, depending on what show you listen to, let's say if you listen to Spirit, Purpose, and Energy, I know that episode 91 is the first conversation I had with Harville Hendrix. And we talked about the imago therapy concept, and it's called Your Relationship Explained. Now, that episode is on every channel. I don't know the number on every channel, but it's episode 91 on Spirit, Purpose, and Energy. So you choose your relationships to heal the wounds of the past. So if you have a difficult relationship with a Scorpio, then you're going to choose a person, whether they're a Scorpio or not, who's going to bring those to you in order for you to heal that. Now, Scorpios in general they're water signs. They're the second water sign. They're emotional, and it manifests in different ways in different placements in your chart. So again, I'm just going to give a brief overview. Scorpios are known for being the most sexual sign. And because of the sexual sign, they also might be very passionate, but they're also very protective and secret. They don't like to show their cards, so to speak. They want to protect their heart because they are sensitive. So they spend a lot of time being secretive and watching and waiting and figure things out. And they don't often put themselves out there because if they get hurt, then they get mad about it. Now, again, this is a very general overview of Scorpio. It does act differently in each planetary position. So sun, moon, ascendant. I deal with Mercury, Venus, Mars, and True Node. I don't do houses. I don't do predictions. In fact, I'm going to have Jan Spiller's family member, I don't know if it's her daughter, somebody's going to be coming on in the near future. Jan Spiller wrote the book Astrology for the Soul, which is one of my definite favorite recommendations that I tell everybody to get. But the whole book is just based on one placement, and that's your True Node. So it all acts a little bit differently, but generally speaking, Scorpios, again, have a big heart, but protect it ferociously. and the sexual piece of them is part of who they are. They're also really well known for wanting to transcend and transform. So it's the phoenix rising out of the ashes. So a lot of Scorpios may be in process of transformation sometimes, not necessarily everybody, but so there's this constant motion possibly happening and an unlayering and like a snake losing their skin, if you will, and in a process of becoming. Now that's about Scorpios, and you said that your partner's an Aries, and Aries and Scorpio together, Aries are very fiery. They're the first of the signs. They're usually very impatient. They're usually very proactive because they're first, but they're also extreme, and they're usually, again, impatient because they operate from the infant, yes, no, right, wrong, left, right, like two choices because they're the first of the signs. Okay, so let's talk about you for a second. So, Ambika, you have Leos everywhere, and Leo is a fire sign. It's the second fire sign in the middle, and Leos are very sensitive. So very sensitive, even though they're fire. They can be hurt a lot and take things personally when you shouldn't take things personally. Well, I mean, again, I teach empowerment, so the goal of healing is to never take anything personally, no matter what's being said or done. And Leos tend to get butt hurt very easily, especially in a Leo moon position, but in all Leo positions. So it's that balance of fire and being on stage and being center stage and needing to have self-expression, but also sometimes needing validation. But we all know you can't get it from everybody else. You have to get it from yourself. So putting all of this together, we have to look at, well, what can I do about it and what does it mean? It's not about somebody being bad or wrong. It's not about staying away from a certain sign. We don't want to make them the bad guy. When we make somebody the bad guy, we're the victim. And we make them wrong, and we make them somebody that hurts us, and we have less compassion for them, and we stay in victim. So I would recommend that you go back and listen to episode 91, Your Relationship Explained with Harville Hendricks, because again, you attracted it. And let's go even broader. You manifested all of it in terms of choosing your father. So there's a reason in this lifetime that you chose this path, and there are lessons to be learned. So the question becomes, what are the lessons to be learned, Ambika? Because it's, if we can get you to heal, if we can get you some of those core wounds, if we can start to soften those, if we can get your needs met through you noticing what they are and then not asking anybody else to provide for you in order to get them met, now you're from a place of observer. You can be compassionate to others. What they do doesn't bother you. It's not circumstantial, and you're not so vulnerable waiting for someone else to give you what you can get on your own. So that's part of the whole empowerment strategy position that I take, is that we want to go to one of the two extremes. One is that you're responsible for nothing and you're a victim of circumstance. We don't want that. That never feels good. The other is to take responsibility for everything. Everything. Does it mean that's true? No, but doesn't it feel better to at least say, if I take responsibility for everything, then it means I can do something about it, or it has a purpose, it has a reason. The contrast is providing me clarity, or the contrast is providing me opportunity. So when it comes to thinking about certain signs, I would think about what is the lesson you need to learn to have compassion, understanding, and patience with both yourself and that sign. So I hope that makes sense. Again, it's a combination of a couple different therapeutic exercises, one being maybe your core wounds with imagotherapy, and the other is learning more about astrology and figuring out what your wounds are and how we can heal those, soften them, rise above them, use the contrast to create abundance in those areas, whether it be love, acceptance, acknowledgement, to be seen, to be heard, whatever those needs for you are. And if you don't have a copy, those of you that are listening, of the feelings and needs list, and there's also a vibrational scale, you can go to jjflizanes.com/feelings list. Again, that's jjflizanes.com/feelings list. And you can download the feelings and needs list. I would print up 20 of them and have them everywhere and carry one with you at all times. And then you have the vibrational scale so you can see where you're kind of hanging out most of the time. It's important to be able to go to that list and see if you're getting your needs met, because if you're not, then subconsciously, which is why a lot of men think women manipulate them. We do, but we don't do it purposely. And it happens in reverse. Men manipulate women also. Again, not consciously. We don't choose it. We're not aware of it. But when we have a need that's not being met, if we're not aware of it and we're not actively seeking to get that need met, then we sort of manipulate those around us to get the need met. And again, this is subconscious. This isn't conscious. You're not deciding, I'm going to be manipulative. It just happens by default because we want to get our needs met. And when we don't know how, when we don't have the tools or the awareness to get those needs met, well, then we expect it to get it from others. And we honestly have been trained to give it to others. We've been trained to be nice to people or to give them things to make them feel better. But that paradigm is very broken. That paradigm leads to a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of giving your power away, and a lot of victim mentality. So I would invite all of you, if you live in that, to consider trying on the other one, because I'll tell you, it feels a lot better. So again, if you're interested in the astrology course, go to jjflizanes.com/astrology so that you can do a little deeper dive into what I'm talking about to have more compassion, both for your partner as well as for yourself. Okay, next question comes from Amber. Amber asks, how to recognize self-sabotaging in early stages. I recognize, but often too far in. Been a while, but still a good topic. Self-sabotage. This goes back to the conversation around upper limits. And I'm glad you brought that up, Amber, because it's a perfect segue into the invitation I have for all of you to attend the 2021 Manifestation Bootcamp, which is happening in October 1st through the 3rd in Redondo Beach, California. You'd fly into LAX, take a shuttle or a taxi or something down to Redondo Beach Hotel, and there's walkable restaurants, and basically we're just going to be camping out right there. It is close to the water and to the boats, so you can walk to the marina, you can take a walk on the beach, and we're going to be doing this kind of work there. One of the things about law of attraction that people don't understand, and you talked about self-sabotaging, when we understand like consciously that we want to feel good, we get that. Then it becomes, well, how do I do that? And how do I sustain that? And what happens when I don't? Why don't I sustain it, right? So the self-sabotaging happens when you have a belief that says, I don't deserve more love, success, joy, and happiness. And some of this work comes back to the Gay Hendricks episode that I did about how we upper limit ourselves and his book, The Big Leap. So for those of you that haven't read The Big Leap, please get it. If you want the worksheet that I created for my inner circle, you are welcome to email me and I will send you the worksheet I created to go through the book. And I would recommend the book, not the audio, for the worksheet, so that you can start to look at the warning signs. You can start to look at the beliefs that create these upper limits, that create this limit of you receiving. When you want to go somewhere new, when you want to go and get something, have something, be something that you haven't done or been before, it requires us to be different. It requires us to do different things and to expand beyond that which we normally are. And the self-sabotage comes in when we get uncomfortable because we don't think we deserve it. We get scared. We don't know how. It's uncharted territory. But using the Big Leap as a reference will show you where and how you start to do it. So if you can catch it as it starts to happen. So for instance, if worry kicks you out, if worry is the way that you self-sabotage. In one of the mastermind groups, one of my members said that she got terrified. She used the word terrified a couple of times. And I stopped her and I said, I don't want you to use the word terrified anymore. I want you to replace it with excited. Because think about it. Terrified and worry, they're energy in motion. There's energy percolating. So it's the same energy as excited. The difference is the story you're telling yourself. The energy of terrified or worried means you're telling yourself a negative story versus the energy of excited literally feels the same, but you're telling yourself a positive story. So it's all in that subconscious conversation that you're having with yourself, as well as the focal point and the conscious story you're telling yourself. Are you painting a picture of why you can't have what you want, or are you reaching beyond and looking at why you can have what you want? So Amber, if you haven't already, and I think you have the worksheet because you're in the Inner Circle membership, if you haven't already, pull that book back out. And for Amber specifically, we did 4 shows in the Inner Circle membership podcast, episode 9, 10, 11, and 12, all on this topic. Doug and I took each section of the book and we used ourselves as examples and we worked through our own upper limits. So for those 4 episodes, I would revisit that so that you can start to catch. And again, I wouldn't try to go like a 180, everybody. If you have an area in which you want to improve badly, you really yearn for something better, and you really want to work on allowing in more, I would take one subject matter at a time so that you can be really conscious and deliberate about the thoughts, the stories, and your focus about how you're thinking about it, what you're talking about, the stories you're creating, and the feelings that you're generating. So for those of you that get worried, maybe ask yourself, change that worry to excited and say, what is wanting to emerge? What is wanting to be birthed? What is wanting to come through? What new thing is percolating that hasn't been before? And try to transfer that understanding of worry, because again, the only reason why you know you're worried is because you're telling yourself a bad story. You're looking in a direction of what you don't want to have happen, and you're literally painting that picture. And as we all know, we manifest where we are, not what we want. So if you are not painting a positive picture that you're moving towards, then by default, you're going to look at all the things that could go wrong. So Amber, I would invite you to go back to the Big Leap. Go back to episode 9, 10, 11, and 12 in the Inner Circle podcast. And those of you that are listening, everybody can revisit the episode I did with Gay Hendricks called How We Upper Limit Ourselves. Get the book, get the audiobook, and then email me, jj@jjflizanes.com, and ask me for the worksheet. I'm happy to send you the worksheet. I don't have a way to get it to you faster than that as of right now, but I will in the future. So if that's helpful, it is something to really take apart and study, because we all have a temperature. And this temperature, if you will, says, I only deserve this much. And when we hit that limit, we sabotage. So sabotage literally is you just proving yourself right in the belief systems that you hold that says, I can't have more. I can't be more. I can't want more and have it. Or it's unfair of me to have that when someone else has less, or whatever the story and belief you're holding is. And we are going to work on this actually at the Manifestation Bootcamp. I will tell all of you that, because some of this is cellular level changes. We're going to do things like EFT and tapping. We're going to do an amazing, powerful guided visualization. We're going to do 2 of them. One is an activation, and one is going to be literally breaking through this upper limit together through a visualization that we will record and then you can use afterwards. So if you are on the fence about thinking about coming, I just announced it, and I know it's maybe early for some of you, but a lot of you have been listening for a while, so you knew it was coming. And I wanted to get a gauge on how many people were interested, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to get it for a little bit less. So right now we have the early bird special, and the early bird special has 3 different options. The pay in full option, the 5-month payment plan, which I cannot offer past this because there won't be 5 months, and then the early bird virtual ticket. So if you live in another country far, far away and you just don't think it's possible, get the early bird virtual ticket, because then that ensures you're going to get the entire weekend on video and you're going to get it for less. So June 1st is when the pricing will switch over to what it's going to be, and it will stay that way until the event. So you have until May 31st to grab early bird pricing and a 5 payment plan to come in person. My assistant Ashley is doing the rooms in case people want to share a room and you want to find a roommate. Again, most of you know I'm only advertising this. I'm only offering it to you, people who listen to the show. I'm not going to be doing Facebook ads on it. I'm not going to be putting it anywhere else where people are, because I really just want that safe container that I keep attracting of like-minded people who listen to this show. So if you are a listener and you want to be with your community, I would invite you to come to the bootcamp. So that's going to be jjflizanes.com/bootcamp. And I will have all the links that I mentioned today, the 3 that I've mentioned so far, in the show notes. So just quickly, jjflizanes.com/astrology is for the astrology course. jjflizanes.com/feelings list is to get your free copy of the feelings and needs list, along with the vibrational scale of emotions. And jjflizanes.com/bootcamp to get your early bird tickets for the October 1st through 3rd Manifestation Bootcamp 2021. It's going to be a party. It's going to be so fun. Every event I have is amazing and fun, but this one I feel is going to be off the chart because of the new location, because of the new listeners, because of my Inner Circle membership, which I never had before until after the last boot camp. So the community has grown and connected on a deeper level, and I can't wait for a lot of you to meet in person because you've seen each other on Zoom or you've heard each other on the podcast. But again, I'm about creating an amazing experience of you breaking through some of these temperature barriers, some of these self-sabotaging beliefs, and to live in a new space that's expanded, as well as to have an amazing, fun time with all of you. So I hope you check any of that or all of that out. If you have any questions that you want me to answer on a future Q&A, please email me, jj@jjflizanes.com. Would love to hear from you. And if you're curious about joining the Inner Circle membership, I'll also put that link in the show notes. It's jjflizanes.com/inner circle. We have a group coaching once a month live on video, as well as some podcasts that happen every month, as well as some other things that we do like 5-day fasting mimicking diet. We do accountability. We do our own 30-day manifestation challenge. We do a bunch of things together collectively because it's a really supercharged group of people who are really taking their power and wanting to use it for good and have like-minded people help support them on their journey. So again, I know a lot of links today. They'll all be in the show notes, but I appreciate being able to come to you today quickly to answer a few questions, to get you thinking, and to invite you to the place to be this year. Doug is going to be the MC. We're going to be doing dancing. We're going to have dance parties. It's going to be off the hook. I can't wait. And I hope that you can join us. And thank you again for being a part of this community. I definitely appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you soon.